The ballot count is underway in Turkey's elections. Today's snap election is the second parliamentary election in less than 5 months and was called by President Recep Erdogan after his party lost its governing majority in June. The pro-Kurdish HDP party is hoping to again acquire the necessary 10% of votes in order to enter the assembly. Results are expected in the coming hours. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro announced new water conservation measures on Saturday during the inauguration of a new waste treatment plant. The government will build 10 new water treatment plants and is working on a new national water preservation plan that will include the implementation of national education programs to raise awareness on the importance of the issue. The Peruvian Attorney General's office has opened yet another investigation over corruption charges against Peru's First Lady Nadine Heredia. The investigation comes after a government lawmaker revealed that Heredia has been directly appointing ministers and issuing direct orders to governing party lawmakers. In the coming months, the Honduran Congress will choose 15 new judges for the country's Supreme Court. However, an international judicial delegation warns that the election of these individuals has been plagued with irregularities that could call into question the results. We've seen that there are problems with the promotion of these positions, and if it's not fixed, then it will generate serious doubts about the legitimacy of the process. The courts or the international organizations have to evaluate this in their own time if someone presents a motion to nullify the process. We can't nullify the process because we're not a court, but we can say that the nominee board has very serious problems.
The Honduran government spokesman said that what this commission is doing is international interference and trying to create a crisis in the justice system.
These kinds of accusations are normally made by individuals in undemocratic countries. The democratic countries don't have issues receiving delegations from the United Nations, the Organization of American States, UNESCO, and the International Labor Organization, or any other NGOs or lawyer associations. They're not afraid of it. Those that are afraid of these visits are those that have something to hide.
After this visit, it is very possible that an effort focused on trying to nullify this process will begin, but it is likely that it won't achieve this. The National Congress has until January 2016 to choose the new 15 magistrates of the Supreme Court. Gerardo Torres, Telesur, Central America.
St. Lucia is responsible for climate change issues at the CARICOM level and has hosted a number of preparatory meetings to solidify the grouping's positions on key climate change issues ahead of the 2015 Paris Climate Conference. With just about 1 month left before the landmark talks, organizers of the Castries meeting say it was an opportunity to fine-tune CARICOM's position. Lead CARICOM Minister on Climate Change Dr. James Fletcher says the 15-country bloc cannot afford to budge on its demand for a 1.5 degrees Celsius cap on greenhouse gas emissions.
We've seen some of the modeling data suggests that the cost of a 1 meter sea level rise in the Caribbean would be tremendous. Quite a number of air and seaports would be inundated, power plants would be destroyed, miles of coastline would disappear, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people would be displaced. So the cost to us in the Caribbean from a 2 degrees Celsius increase in temperature by the end of this century would be quite significant.
Residents of St. Lucia say they stand with the governments in the quest to get rich nations to commit to a significant reduction in greenhouse gases.
Depletion of the ozone layer, things are getting worse, you know. So we have a slight effect on it, has a slight effect on us.
For them, climate change is real.
It's real. Well, around them time we used to find a lot of rain and thing. Right now we just pure heat and thing, you know, so you could see, well, global warming, it have an effect around the world.
The region's climate change negotiators and ministers say the vulnerable countries of the Caribbean are already facing the impacts of climate change. This was the last of CARICOM's preparatory meetings before COP21. The negotiators and ministers know what they want from the talks. They say they are prepared to take a tough stance and draw clear red lines in a bid for the survival of the region's small island states. Alison Kentish, Telesur, St. Lucia.
Russian authorities continue the search for bodies after a commercial airliner crashed in Egypt carrying over 200 passengers. Al-Shabaab and the Islamic State group have claimed responsibility for downing the plane. Russian investigators revealed Sunday that the plane did not make any SOS calls before the crash and that no failures were found with the airliner. This raises the probability that it was shot down. The Russian government will transfer the recovered bodies to St. Petersburg.
We plan to continue our work and take the maximum number of bodies from the site of the emergency. And when this work is finished, we plan to send the remains by plane to St. Petersburg.
The United Nations envoy to Yemen announced that peace talks will restart soon. Talks have been stalled since last June when the Saudi-backed government of Abd Mansur Hadi left the table, rejecting the participation of Houthi rebels who took over the country in February. The renewed talks could begin later this month.
I expect that before mid-November, God willing, a date will be specified, and I expect that the dialogue must begin before mid-November, at a minimum November 15th.